So today's video is a bit different than the usual content that I film, which is vlog my life, my very ordinary boring life, or nag or complain about what the hell is going on in my life. It is a book review of some very good Asian authors. It's a fiction read definitely, but I really wanted to do this because I love these books and I wanted to share them with the world. If the world doesn't know, of course most of them have read this book, I'm sure it's quite popular, but if you haven't, go for it. So these are two of them is Japanese, two of them is Korean, and all translated in English. So these are easily available on any of the online sites in India. I got two from Amazon and two of them from Flipkart. Actually this book was in Amazon, but there was only the French translation one, so I had to get it from Flipkart. And yeah, to be honest, my favorite one is this out of all the four. Like, this book has my heart and will remain my favorite for the rest of my life, even if I discover more good books, but this will hold a special place in my heart. You just have to find a correct book to change your perspective on reading, and this was that book for me. I did not prefer reading fiction. Mostly whatever I read was self-help books, but I felt like it's enough, too much self-help, and nothing self-help actually did to myself even after reading, so I went for fiction. Before we dive into the book review, a quick story. I'm not an avid reader, I'm not a bookworm that you call, but I recently understood that when you find the correct book, you like reading. So the first book that I will be talking about is this, Days at Morisaki Bookshop. It's a Japanese author, and this is a book that I'm currently reading. I just started it today. I'm just in page number, I'm just over here on page number 5. So I just started and I love it. I'm loving it. I'm not saying for the video, personally I'm loving it. So it's a short and a captivating book about a girl. I forgot the girl's name. It's about a girl who is navigating through a tough time in life, through a heartbreak, and she even leaves her job. So she's going through a tough time in life, and this is a time when her uncle Satoru, who runs the bookshop, contacts her, and then she goes and lives with her uncle, and that's where she starts to recover and heal. So it's basically a story of healing, recovering from a heartbreak, and discovering joy in reading in books. So yeah, it says over here, tale of families, love, new beginning, and the comfort that can be found in books. I'm not lying, but really you can find comforts in book now. I agree to this. So yeah, I'm reading this. So the next one is the Kamogawa Food Detectives. This is another Japanese bestseller, and I just completed it yesterday. It's another very light-hearted, easy read. You can see it's not that big. There is 6 stories. So line in this book, just wait. It says, faith works in a mysterious way. I reckon we always meet the people we are supposed to meet, which is why you could end up walking through this door. So this diner doesn't have much information like as to where it is, but people find it who actually needs it. So the detective agency is basically recreating dishes for people who had those dishes a long time back, and there's a memory to those food, so they create that dish. It's that kind of detective agency. Like, down a quiet back street in Kyoto exists a very small special restaurant called the Kamogawa Diners. Customers who find the hidden establishment are treated to an extravagant meal, but it's not the main reason for visiting. The father-daughter duo who owns the restaurant have started advertising their service as food detective, capable of creating dishes for their customers' past that may hold the key to unlocking forgotten memories and ongoing happiness. Now moving on to my third read. This is a very famous Korean book that I've seen many Korean celebrities putting on their Instagram story, as well as BTS Namjoon. So it's I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. I love tteokbokki. So this book is basically a conversation between the author and her psychiatrist. So I'll tell you about this book. The first page, the first chapter, the very first few lines, I felt like, oh, this book is meant for me. You know, the right books find you at the right time. So I was going through a rough time, and I wasn't. It was so difficult for me to get out of my house and go and do the things that I had to do. So I remember reading the first few lines of the book, and then I was like, okay, I can do it. And I went. Found myself deeply connected to the conversations. So by the way, talking about the first chapter and the first few lines, ever since I was a child, I've been introverted and sensitive. The memories are vague now, but according to my old diary entries, I was clearly not born optimistic, and I would feel down from time to time. That's exactly how I am as a person. So yeah, this book was also very nice. A bit in the middle, sometime I got off, but I like the book. It's worth the read. I heard the second part of the conversation will be also out, so I will buy that as well. And saving the best for the last, my absolute favorite. Wish this bookshop really existed, and I was one of those people visiting the bookshop over there. This book has a hot story revolves around a woman named Youngju who has been really tired and burnt out with life. So she decides to open her bookshop, which she she was a reader from a very young age. She loved books, but life happens and you're caught up with life. So after that, when she is now trying to rediscover herself, she decides to open a bookshop for herself to reclaim her old self. It's beautiful stories of life and how simple bookshop becomes a haven for tired souls. I need this bookshop in my life so that I can go and sit and sip a coffee and read books and meet such nice people. I cannot do justice with the rough synopsis that I'm giving, but you read it, you know it. And I'm sure you love it. You'll truly love it. It's so special. If you're into immersive stories, descriptive books, that these books are really worth checking out. You know, exploring the narratives through these books of life is so good. So yeah, I would love to recommend you this book at least. So this was my favorite chapter, and I kind of felt that I am reading myself. So many beautiful lines in this book, like stories of people going through hard times, taking one step at a time forward as they seek comfort from the flickers of light across the horizon. So beautiful. And lastly, the author's note. So I'm reading this author's note. She's done complete justice as to why she wrote this book. To write what I wanted to read, stories of people who find their own pace and direction, of people who believe in others and wait by their side as they go through difficult times, lost in worry. Stories of those who support others, who celebrate small effort and resolves in a society that puts people and everything about them down once they take a fall. Stories that bring comfort, providing a pat on the shoulders for those who have lost the joy in life, having pushed themselves too hard to do well. I'm not sure if the novel turned out the way I hoped. It definitely turned out the way she hoped. So yeah, please read this. So yeah, that was it.